Okay, sit yourself onto the lift and come into a good, so I just pressed the mouse button there by accident. Sit in a good cross-legged position, and then just have a little wriggle about. Make sure that you feel like you're sitting evenly. So just feel that the seat bones are level. Hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area upwards. Draw your shoulders down, away from your ears. And look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Focus on the sound of the breath as it enters, and the sound of the breath as it exits. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. After sitting for a little while, just reassess the balance of the seat bones. Do they feel evenly weighted? If they don't, just adjust on the cushion, move the buttock flesh out to the sides so that you're sitting directly on the seat bones. And then release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Push the palms firmly together and lengthen the armpits into the elbows. With an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close and maintain the elevation of the spine and maintain the observation of the breath, observing the sound of the breath. Noting how the inhalation sounds different to the exhalation. So however subtly there is difference between the in-breath and the out-breath, observe it. As you inhale, fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. As you exhale, empty the lungs from the top to the bottom. As you inhale, observe how the chest rises upwards and outwards to accommodate the breath. Allow the chest to expand in 3 dimensions, and as you exhale, observe how the chest relaxes. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, lift your chest up to meet your chin. Draw your shoulders away from your ears to lengthen out the back of the neck. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Gratitude for something or someone or somewhere that brings your existence positive energy. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees. Palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold on to your knees. Hold on to your knees and elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation, and with an exhalation turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Just listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Observe any resistance. Observe simultaneously areas of non-resistance. Using each exhalation to intensify your turn. Drawing the abdomen across so that your belly button points at that right knee and beyond. From the belly button, from the ribs, from the shoulders, but keeping the neck really soft. Come back to the centre. Hold on to your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards. Take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across, your ribs, your shoulders, listening to the breath. Observing the inhalation, moving more deeply into the pose of the exhalation. Gently come back to the centre. Just come down off your lift and come onto your knees. If you're not doing Adho Mukha Virasana, do supta, baddha konasana. So go down onto your back, have your feet close to the seat bones, let your knees fall apart. So otherwise sit back on your heels and just feel how your shins maybe resist the position, maybe they yield to the position quite easily, but do they make good contact with the floor? Press the shin bone into the shin skin, the shin bone into the shin skin, so that the thighs activate. When you feel that the thighs come to life, then lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, and then come forward, stretching your arms forward, spreading the palms. If there's resistance in your shoulders, have your arms wider than usual. Press the palms into the floor. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels. Aim to keep contact with the seat bones and the heels. Everyone get hold of the edges of the mat, like you want to tear it apart. Hold on to the edges of the mat and then push the mat away from the body. And then feel how much more efficiently the seat bones come down onto the heels. So holding onto the mat like you want to tear it apart. Keep your elbows straight. Lock the outer elbows into the front of the elbow. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your arms to the sides of the body so that they're along the legs in the child's pose, the kind of traditional quietening pose. If it feels heavy on your head, which it can do, then consciously lengthen from the shoulders into the fingers. So stretch into the arms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then stretch your arms away again. Extend your arms away. Feel how it opens up the muscles of the back. Keeping the seat bones down on the heels. Spreading the palms this time. If you're losing contact between the seat bones and the heels, go back to holding the edges of the mat. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Come up onto your knees and then turn your toes. Let's come up onto your knees. Spread the fingers, spread the palms, turn your toes under. Have your feet as wide apart as your mat and come up into dog down. If you're not doing dog down, do supta, baddha, konasana. Or dandasana. Lift and activate the legs. Tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Lift the fronts of the thighs up to the tops of the legs. Go inside the pose. Feel the pose. Observe the feeling of the pose. Observe your activity. Does it feel even on the left side and on the right side? Does the level of activity feel even between the two legs and the two arms? Does your breath feel natural? Or do you feel like it becomes shallow? Keep breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel how the hands connect to the ground. Work into the index finger knuckle to really activate the shoulders. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Aim to allow the chest to expand as it was when we were in Padmasana. Not Padmasana, sorry, swastikasana. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into the standing position. And then get some blocks for your hands. Have a couple of blocks for your hands. Bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. So know that your feet are as wide apart as the mat because you feel that they're as wide apart as the mat. Make sure your toes are in line with each other. So look down and then bring your hands onto your hips. Bring your heels onto the edge of the mat. So feel that your heel is on the edge of the mat. Feel that the little toe is also on the edge of the mat. So even if you overlap a little bit, tighten the kneecaps. Draw the fronts of the thighs, activate the thighs up towards the top of the leg, and consciously turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Lift the heart area up to the ceiling, wing the elbows towards each other. Keep the head lifted and then come forwards, hinge at the hips. Reach down, find the block. blocks underneath your shoulders. And then just reset the action of the legs. Feel the pose from the inside. Feel how you activate the pose. Are you more observant of the left side or the right side? Does one leg work willingly, the other unwillingly? Get the unwilling leg to mirror the willing leg. Feel that there is evenness from the inside. Lift the fronts of the thighs up to the top of the leg. Turn the fronts of the thighs consciously inwards. Keep the head lifted, extending forwards, drawing the shoulder blades in towards the spine, lengthening the chest away from the legs. Draw the belly button to the spine. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, just finding that internal balance of action. If you can go down lower, then do, but don't do it because the ego wants to do it. Do it because the body is capable. If you lose that balance of action, when you go down further and you can't readdress it, go back to the stage where you could. Keep projecting the chin and the chest forwards. If you can reach down to the floor without losing action, without hitting all of your weight into your toes, then go down to the floor. Hit the shins back so that your weight remains in the heels, or drives towards the heels. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just finding that internal balance of action. So in yogic terms, observation comes before activation. And there's a continual cycle of observation and activation. So draw your attention into the sensations of the pose, into the physical sensations of the pose. Feel that there is balance on the inside. Not just between the left leg and the right leg, between the legs and the spine and the arms and the head and the breath. Is there even observation? Is there even activation? Bring your hands back onto the hips, bend your knees, and then come back up into uttanasana. Bring the inner edge of the feet together, big toes touching, heels touching. And then activate your legs as you were in dog down, as you were in uttanasana. Lifting the thighs, turning them inwards. Tucking the tailbone in, drawing the belly button to the spine, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the heart area, drawing the shoulders down away from your ears, lengthening from the spine and up into the head. Turn the fronts of the legs inwards. If that makes you drop your insteps, so if you drop your insteps anyway, turning the fronts of the legs is probably going to make it worse. So push, in that case, push the inner knees away from each other. And then lift the inner knees up towards the groins. So you feel that the outside edge of the feet and the heels are your footstep. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. Turn your left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out, and then go back to facing the front. Might make you want to do this, turn towards the front. But this time we turn the legs the other way round. Rather than turning them inwards, which we do in Tadasana, we turn them outwards, especially this front leg. So feel that this inner groin can rotate towards the outer groin. Turn the inner groin to the outer groin, lift up into the chest. Just at this stage, feel that there is even action between the two legs. And then maintain that evenness of action as you come down into trikonasana. Look up. Just feel the pose in 3 dimensions. Feel where your feet are. Keep turning the legs, especially the front leg. Turn the front leg, the right leg from the big toe side to the little toe side. Do the same with the back leg. Feel that the legs are working evenly, lifting from the feet into the shins, into the thighs, into the hips, into the spine. Have a quick glance down. Look at your foot. Is your head directly over the foot? If it's not, then lift the chest. Squeeze the front leg buttock bone forwards. Look up again. Listen to the breath. And then come back to the centre. Swap the feet, make the feet face the front, and turn the right toes in slightly and the left leg and foot all the way out. Again, turn the legs outwards. Turn the fronts of the thighs outwards. Have a look. Just make sure that the heel is in line with the instep of that back leg. Adjust the position of the leg if it's not. Keep the hips facing the front. So turn the inner groins outwards. Not really the inner groins, the upper leg in the kind of region of the groin. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, finding that balance of action between the two legs. And then come down and find the shin. Once in the pose, look up, turn the chest, face the ceiling. Feel where the feet are. Does the front leg buttock bone, the left buttock bone, does it stick out towards the back of the room, or can you squeeze it in towards the front of the room? Make the back leg, the right leg, hit towards the wall behind you. Feel that there is an evenness of action in the legs. It's not just about the front leg, you keep the back leg working evenly with the front leg. And back to the centre. Bring the feet parallel and then step or jump the feet back together and then come back into Tadasana. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Turn the palms all the way out. Rotating the upper arms in the sockets like you're turning the legs in Trikonasana. Turn the legs, the fronts of the legs inwards. Hit the inner knees away from each other, lift the inner knees towards the ceiling. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Listening to the breath. Okay, have the feet together, Keep lifting up into the chest. Spread the toes really deeply of the left foot. And then bring the right foot up into the top of the groin. If you need something to help you to balance, just have it in front of you, or you can do this against the wall. So you can have a chair in front of you. Just hold on to the seat of the chair. Activate that standing leg. Lift the thigh. Tadasanaise that leg. Turn it inwards. Push the foot into the thigh into the foot. So a couple of things. At this stage, maybe you feel that this foot is slipping. Try not to push into the knee. Go down into the calf if don't push into your knee. That's kind of a potentially damaging. Skin on skin is better, but if this foot feels like it's slipping, it's usually because this leg, the standing leg, isn't working properly. So activate that leg, lift the thigh up towards the groin and turn the front of the thigh inwards. Push the foot into the thigh and squeeze the outer thigh into the foot like a sandwich. And then, like a tube of toothpaste, the energy stretches up into the chest. You can either stay with your arms at the sides, lifting up into the chest, or raise your arms up. Ideally, have the arms parallel to each other. I run out of ceiling height a little, so I have to make a little variation, but palms facing each other, as in vrksasana. So if you find that your balance is precarious, then do this with your back against the wall. Get that standing leg to maintain its tadasana. Activating the thigh all the way up to the top of the leg, turning the front of the thigh inwards, squeezing the outer thigh into the foot into the thigh. Okay, release your arm, release the legs, and then come back into Tadasana. So, there's no shame in using supports for this. So if you kind of find that you're kind of in the middle of the room and you're kind of wavering about and you find it difficult to raise your arms, for example, then just go to a wall. Go to a wall, have your back against the wall, and then just do the pose with the support of the wall. And then I can't do it because I haven't got a proper wall, but raise your arms and use the wall to feel secure. So be in Tadasana. Tighten the kneecaps. It often helps if you can to lift the shorts so it's skin on skin. That usually grips a bit better. Feel that this thigh lifts all the way up to the top of the leg. Lift up into the chest. Keep the standing leg straight. Bend the left knee, and then bring the left foot all the way up into the top of the thigh. And just use something to help you to balance if you need it. At this stage, reactivate that standing leg. Lift the thigh all the way up into the top of the leg. Turn the front of the thigh inwards. Squeeze the outer thigh into the foot. Squeeze the foot into the outer thigh. And then lift up into the chest. So you can keep your arms at the sides, or you can raise your arms over your head. Vrksasana arms. Arms shoulder width apart, palms facing each other. Vrksasana, the tree pose. So the direction of growth of trees is upwards, up to the sky, up to the sun. But there's a firm foundation in the ground. So the foot activates like the roots of the tree. Stretching into the earth. Bringing stability. So spread the toes. Lengthen into the toes. Okay, release your arms, release the leg, and then come back into Tadasana. Just lift up into the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. bring your feet hip width apart, turn your toes in. Now this can be a little strong for a lower back. It can feel nice, but you've got to feel it for yourself. If the pose doesn't feel good for you, then you come on to bring your hands onto the tops of a table or a windowsill or something like that. That's a kind of hip width, hip height, and then you come forwards this way. Otherwise, you're going to come forwards, so feet hip width apart, turn your toes in, raise your arms, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, wrap your fingers around your elbows, and then come forwards with the head lifted, with the arms lifted, and then hang down into uttanasana, just stretching out the lower back, just activating the legs, observing that you are activating the legs evenly. So if it feels too much for your back, then do the other version that I showed you, where you have your arms outstretched and on the back of a chair or a windowsill or something at the hip height. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just feel that the legs are continuing to activate evenly. So feel the pose from the inside. So it's easy to feel the pose from where there is resistance, but draw your attention into the sensations of the physical body. Listen to the breath. Observe your balance of action and then even it out. Okay, release your hands down to the floor. Just briefly come into half uttanasana. If you can't reach the floor and keep your legs straight, then bring your hands onto your shins and project the chin and the chest away. Okay, bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up, and then come back up into Tadasana. Just be in Tadasana, just observing your energy. Okay, we're going to come down onto our backs into supta, baddha, konasana, and preferably with a bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, you can just use some cushions. So it's just something that's going to elevate your spine. And then have a folded blanket or a pillow for your head, so that your head doesn't roll back. And then you're going to sit close to the bolster in baddha konasana, soles of the feet together. Have some blocks handy. I'll tell you what you can do with those if it feels uncomfortable in a moment. So don't be right up against the bolster at this stage. My bolster kind of is quite an old one, and it's not very firm at the end, so it's kind of a little ramp, so I can sit quite close. But if you've got a new bolster and it's really firm, then you'll want to sit away from the bolster a little. Hold on to the shins and push. Hold on to the shins in the upright position, and then roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. Drive the heart area up to the ceiling. And then release your arms, bring your hands behind you, push the hands into the floor. Really work to elevate the abdomen up to the diaphragm, up to the collarbone as you guide yourself down. And then just have the other blanket underneath your head. So at this stage, if there's discomfort in your hips, you can use those blocks that I mentioned to put them on the outsides of the thighs. Just feel that you have got levelness on both sides, that it doesn't feel like you're kind of leaning to one side or the other. If you do, then just try and address that. Maybe you're not laying back on the bolster correctly. So just observe how the body feels on the inside. The feet will probably feel like they want to slide away. So see if you can pull them towards the seat bones a little more. Bring your hands onto the floor, palms facing upwards. And then just observe the openness of the chest. Observe the openness of the chest and the ease of the breath. Observe the breath as you inhale and exhale. Observe the sound of the breath. Does the in-breath feel longer than the out-breath, or the out-breath feel longer than the in-breath? Or does the breath feel even? I'm not asking you to control the breath, I'm just asking you to observe it. Focus on whether the in-breath is longer than the out-breath. And then I want you to just count the in-breath. Maybe the in-breath lasts for a count of 3 or 4, maybe 5. How long does the out-breath last? So without forcing or controlling the breath, just observe it. So maybe the longer of the breaths feels more natural. I don't want you to extend it consciously, just allow it to happen. So perhaps you notice that the out breath lasts for a count of 6 while the in breath lasts for a count of 5. So I want you to try and make the in-breath even with the out-breath. So whichever is longer, try and make the other breath the same length. Without over-controlling it, there should be no tension in the chest. So if the out-breath lasted for a count of 6, make the in-breath last for a count of 6. With no holding, no tension, just breathe in for 6, breathe out for 6, breathe in for 6, breathe out for 6. So you're just making the in-breath even with the out-breath. If you find that maybe you need to elongate one of the breaths, elongate the other breath as well. But again, without any conscious tension. There should be no tension around the throat or the forehead or the jaw or the chest. And then perhaps again, without over consciously extending or affecting the breath, make, if you were counting the in-breath for 7, the out-breath for 7, try and make that last for 8 and 8. So this is the first stage of samavritti pranayama. Samavritti pranayama is where the in-breath is even with the out-breath. If you find that your mind wanders, don't worry, that's normal. Just go back to counting the breath. If at any stage it feels like you're creating tension in the chest or in the throat or in the head, then just relax the breath. Maybe drop the count by a digit. Allow the chest to expand with the in-breath. Allow the chest to relax with the out-breath. So samavritti pranayama, just this first stage, is an important method of focusing the physical body and the mind. So notice I said the physical body before the mind, because the mind can follow the body. Mind can follow the breath. Through driving the physical body and the energy body, the breath first, making that the priority, then the mind hopefully feels more able to follow the physical body. So our concentration these days is really hampered by continual distraction. No wonder everyone is constantly distracted, because we allow ourselves to be distracted by devices, by the things that we do to distract ourselves. So just focusing on the breath brings the mind into the physical body and helps us to sharpen our focus, even just incremental moments of sharpening. Place your elbows into the floor. Lift the chest. And then just come up into baddha konasana. Hold on to the big toes, let the knees remain apart. Roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. If holding onto the big toes feels like you restrict the chest, then hold onto the shins instead. Just try and keep the breath even. Observe how it feels different. Maybe the chest doesn't feel as open. Can you open the chest like the bolster was underneath you? Just release the legs. Bring the legs into swastikasana or into half padmasana. Hold onto the knees, lift up into the chest, roll onto the front edge of the seat bone. Lift up into the heart area and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Your ribs and your shoulders. Unconsciously allow the breath to become even. So without counting the breath, just observe it. Come back to the centre. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then turn to the left. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, letting the breath be soft and gentle, not overworking it, just let it be gentle. And then gently come back to the centre. And then release the legs and then just sit back on your heels for a moment. Now if there's any reason why laying on your front isn't right for you, then you can just lay in traditional shavasana, so you can lay on your back. Otherwise, I want you to get a block at the end of your bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, you can just lay on your back. We're going to come into our restorative surfboard pose. Just for the last, just a couple of minutes. We've only got a few minutes left. So lay yourself along the front of the bolster. Have the block with the blanket over the top, with your head, for your head, your forehead, and then rest your arms. Just allow yourself to drape over the bolster if you're doing now the restorative surfboard. Otherwise, just do normal shavasana. Just release into the floor. Observe your physical body and let the muscles consciously release. Just releasing into the floor, whichever pose you were doing. And then bring, if you're in restorative surfboard, bring your hand into underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up into a seated position. If you're laying on your back, pull your knees in towards your chest. And just have a little rock from side to side, roll onto your side and then sit yourself up. And then sit on your bolster, or you sit on the lift that you began with. Just come into cross legs with your hands in the masti. Make sure your seat bones feel level. Fill your lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. Fill your lungs and draw the breath, the energy of the breath down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of energetic poses and pranayama. Draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. Release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and of peacefulness that we can carry into our day. Gently raise your head. Allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you have lifted your energy and you've given yourself good positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.